Conceive, believe, achieve.
Alright, let's have a quick tail of the tape first. For Deshaun Strickland, he needs to pressure Dricus. He has to gas Dricus by putting Dricus on his back foot. Generally, explosive fighters will always shine in early rounds, so yeah, he has to weather that storm. Obviously, removing space from a dangerous explosive fighter is a must, so they won't have a space to explode to. I feel like Deshaun needs to be extra aggressive in this fight. He cannot afford to play patty cake while being stationary with someone like Dricus. For Dricus, he really needs to fight at the center so he can have space to explode to. Finish the fight as soon as possible. Just because Deshaun is somewhat a snowball kind of fighter, and the longer the fight is, it's just more beneficial for Deshaun. He is simply more used to 5-round wars. Obviously, Dricus needs to do something when Deshaun starts marching forward. Dricus is very open for head attacks. He cannot let someone like Deshaun bull him for space. If Dricus stand-up does not work, he needs to diversify his attacks by using other discipline like wrestling and grappling. For Deshaun Strickland, his style is too pure for an MMA fighter. His legs could be open because of his too upright stance. It is just harder to check leg kicks from there. He can be twitchy. His fight with Easy showed that he has a tendency to react to feints quite a bit. His defense could be open as well. Again, Easy showed us that Deshaun could open his guard by mere feints. He does not have enough power to equalize against powerhouses like Pereira or Dricus. Dricus is obviously open a lot of time. He is lucky he has not fought a lethal counter striker yet. We have seen his fight with Till and Brunson. He can be hurt, but because he is insanely durable, he still survives and wins. Virtually no head movement or defense. Lastly, high guard just exposes your body. We all know that Deshaun has been in 5 rounds a lot. What he did with his Philly shell style is so innovative. It should not work, and yet here he is, a champion, and the fact that he wins his fight by just using his hands is an incredible feat in the highest level of MMA. This fucking guy is really durable. Even with Elezu Zaleski dos Santos knock him out, he was not out cold. Same with the scary big guy Pereira, he was not out cold, so that says a lot. Everyone knows the insane power that Dricus carries for his division. His finishing ability is just scary. He can finish you in a lot of ways. His ability to mix things up is mind-boggling. The guy looks wonky and funky, but he is so good and very effective at making it work. And last, this guy is just a juggernaut. You have to remove him from his consciousness if you want to win against him. The stats are obvious. Dricusduplessis blocks punches with his face, while Deshaun Strickland is so good at landing at the head. Probably the best fighter in the UFC right now that is so great at landing on the head with just pure hands alone. Stylistically, both are forward fighters. I think Dricus will be safer when he is on the back foot compared to Deshaun, because DDP has raw power and explosiveness to use when he needs it. So yeah, Deshaun needs to be somewhat perfect in this fight. He needs to force Dricus to be on the back foot most of the time. He cannot afford to trade punches with him, especially in the early rounds, but I think Dricus will be okay in the later rounds as long as he does not allow Deshaun to keep him at the fence all the time. Honestly, this fight is really intriguing and hard to dissect because both fighters are really tough mofos. We have Deshaun here who ate a touch of death from Alex Pereira but still was awake and not out of his consciousness. On the other hand, we have a brute force that loves blocking, using his face in Dricus and not get affected by it, at least long enough to finish the fight. Dricus definitely has more tools to use. He can finish in submission or remove the consciousness of his opponents. Dricus will obviously be more dangerous in the early rounds, but I do not doubt his capabilities in the later rounds, unless in early rounds he is on the back foot all the time. We have seen how durable and tough this guy is, so expect him to give problems to Deshaun even in later rounds. It is hard to pick which fighter will win because in hindsight, this is a nightmare matchup for Sean Strickland. Because in theory, Sean Strickland does not have enough power to mitigate someone like Dricus, who keeps marching forward, tanks shots, and give it back to you with more power than you have. Yes, Deshaun is bound to land on Dricus because of how Dricus fights. That is the huge question here. How many shots would it take to stop someone like Dricus before Dricus lands a big shot on Deshaun and put him out? Anyway, this is a very exciting matchup. I cannot wait to see this war. This is all for now, guys. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay bloodlusted.
If you don't know, now you know.